Welcome to the Brodies, and we're back at the Brodode, a bunch of bros.
On the Zoom.
Is this Zoom? Technically, it's not.
Okay. Okay. I mean, it's
It looks like
Zoom's.
Zoom. It's like
It's Zoom's second cousin.
I think it's better than Zoom though, so I would say it's like, what's better? How can I describe like if Zoom was your ex, you upgraded to this. This is what this is. It's like an upgrade.
Okay.
I've never had an ex, so I can neither confirm or
or deny these allegations.
Yeah.
So when you eventually get an ex and then you upgrade to a better person, it's like great. Or think of it like hard drive. You know, you have to update your phone. It's a better update, like Windows, whatever. What we're on 13. It's better than 11, right? I don't know. Whatever the iPhone updates are. You know what I mean? So, I'm Kas,
Slim.
B. Anthony.
and now if you're wondering why I did this lovely intro, and you're wondering why it's just the three of us, Mr. Brown couldn't be here today. He was busy doing some Mr. Brown things, so we're just gonna say Mr. Brown couldn't make it today.
He's grading papers. It's
Yeah.
that time of the year for most teachers. Grading papers is almost the countdown. So I can understand from his point of view, like the workload, because it's been a lot. It's been a lot.
Grading papers or just failing kids? Who knows? We don't know.
I don't think he fails children. That's a very weird way to pose it.
Children fail themselves is what you're saying. That's what.
No, I don't. First of all, I don't want you to project failure on anybody, including kids.
I mean, kids, it's okay to fail. You have to, in order to succeed, you have to fail.
I understand that, and that is a fact of life.
Kids a favor because they get a taste of failure at a young age, so then boom, propels them to success as they get older.
Okay.
Well, that's the vision. That's the vision you hope for, but sometimes it doesn't go as planned. Sometimes
straight down, like one failure, just
yeah. It's just but you do what you can as teachers. We do what we can. Speaking of failing, I don't think they're going to hold any kids back. Like with the year of the pandemic and just virtual learning. Yeah. And again, like just being a teacher myself, like there are a couple kids. There's some kids who shouldn't go to the next grade level because they haven't mastered what they learned in second grade. And I'm just being very honest. And I think as a parent, that's a very tough decision to make. I mean, do you want to hold your kids back, or do you want to advance them knowing that they can't even comprehend with the basic foundations of second grade math? So, it's a lot of push pull in that department, but yeah. What can you do?
So those kids failed is what I'm hearing, is why they shouldn't be at the next level.
I wouldn't use the word fail
because of what's that extenuating circumstances. The parents are in a unique position to decide whether their kids should stay back to make sure they have the proper skills, or if they should move forward.
Now, to play devil's advocate, all kids had extenuating circumstances, but some kids are going to the next grade and some are not. Now, we're talking all kids in the same school situation. We're not talking like some are in a private school, some are in the public. We're talking, I'm pretty sure
you're assuming that they're all in the same
all the
situation.
Kids fall into a certain boat, and some are making it, some are not.
I think you have to really, that's a broad statement.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No, but I mean, you do have people who have that thought. You have people in like Congress who think like that, and the reality is with the education system, there are definitely inequities. There's still people in the area, kids who don't have access to the internet, who don't have access to laptops. It took a minute for people to get tablets, if memory serves me correctly, when the pandemic first started.
It took months to do that.
Yeah. So, I mean, there were, students who didn't have that problem versus students who did. And the reasoning for that, well, that's Pandora's box that I'm not ready to open on this episode. But, I do think that it's a tough call to make. I wouldn't want to be in that position.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Pull-out game is strong.
Well,
Y'all got the same face. That's beautiful. And y'all did the same direction look. They can't see. I saw it. That was beautiful.
I take it a step up. Pretend hypothetically, you guys are parents, right? Your kid is in second grade.
Cool.
Let's say both of your kids are on that bubble, like they struggle with reading and comprehension and math, right? And now it's decision time. You talk to the teachers talk to you. Based on what the teachers tell you, they say, hey, like, I think, you want to move your child on, but you'll be doing a disservice if you move them on to third grade, if they haven't really comprehend the basic foundations of second grade math and its components. What do you do as parents?
Can I put them in summer school?
I mean, okay, even with summer school, say you can, but realistically, summer school is only 3-4 weeks, What can a kid learn in 3-4 weeks when they had the whole year of virtual learning? You know what I'm saying? So you're in that position. Kas, what do you do? Brian, I'm curious to know what you say after him.
I would say I would go super critical in trying to see what's the breakdown of what my kid didn't know. Like if he just didn't know one particular area that we could focus on, or he just didn't grasp a whole bunch of concepts. Because if it's just one particular thing, I haven't been in second grade, obviously, in years, so I don't know. But let's just say if it was just like math, he just couldn't get math, but he got everything else, then I kind of put him in summer school for the entire summer. Like he don't really get a break, but we're just going to, focus on math for this whole summer for you to get up to speed or damn near up to speed. So I would try to go on that boat. But if they couldn't grasp like a whole bunch of different concepts and I had to make that decision, I would probably – my heart would say just move him up because I don't want him not to be with his friends and stuff, and that might put him into like a mental spiral even in the second grade. But my brain would say no, he needs to stay until he gets it. So it would kind of – I would need more to know what particularly he didn't get. That's how I don't know if that anyone did, but –
No. You definitely hit it right on the head. Brian, what do you think, buddy? What would you do in that situation? Your child is struggling with like basic like comprehension of math, counting by tens, adding 10 more, 10 less, 100 more, 100 less, one more, one less. And it's like, hey, B.Ant, your child is a pleasure to have in class, but I'm really worried about him moving on to third grade with multiplication and division if he hasn't fully comprehended all of this.
I would probably do the summer school approach as well. But then also I would probably go a step further and just make sure I'm investing in additional tutoring and any program that I can find, whether that's like something on the internet or, YouTube. Even if I have to get involved with myself as a parent and, help out.
You want me to parent and teach them math?
I think that should be part of the process anyway, as a parent. But, I also realize that times have evolved and not everyone has that time commitment for their kid, especially if they're like in a scenario where they're working all the time. But that's where I would research after school programs, faith-based groups, Boys and Girls Club. I would try all of those resources just to make sure that like my kid doesn't fall behind.
Or I just drop my kid off with Slim for the summer and be like, yo, teach my kid math. I'll be back in 2 months. It's literally what would happen.
Well, right. He said 2 months?
Yeah, the summer. You're summer school. Like I'm gonna drop your kid off. I'm gonna give you the tuition money and say, yo, when I come back in 2 months, he needs to know this math, and I'll see you. Me and my on vacation. I'll know you teach him or her this, and I'm out.
You do know that a good chunk of the learning process does take place at home, though. Even though they're in school for 8 hours a day, it's reinforced with whatever work is done at the home.
The 2 months that they were Slim, that's home.
No. You as a parent, though, still have to give some type of investment into your child's success is what I'm trying to.
I'm investing in the better resource of the teacher that is Slim.
So pretty much Kas saying he's not teaching this kid math. That's pretty much what it comes down to, right? That's exactly what he's saying. No matter how you spend it, Brian, he's going to say, I'm going to drop him off to Slim. Slim, work on this project here. But you know what though? You know what's crazy? Like there are parents that have that same mindset. Like they drop their kids off at school,
I'm joking,
and they literally think that we're supposed to fix all their issues. It's like I teach over 80 something kids a day, right? Realistically, when it comes to teaching, it's an investment. I have to invest in your child, but also as a parent or a single parent, you have to invest just as much as I'm investing, right? And I think it's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. Now, for me, I don't mind going above and beyond to help that kid out, extra work, tutoring on the side, whatever. But like it has to be like a group dynamic, you know. But the way Kas was portraying, like there are parents that actually have that mindset when school starts. Okay, this is your responsibility. You deal with this kid. And it's like, whoa. Like, I get that I have to teach your child, and I see your child a lot, right? But at the same time, as a parent, you have to put interest in your child as well. It's not just a one-way street. It's definitely a two-way street that requires everybody, all teachers on board to help that kid in any way, shape, or form that they may need, you know. But yeah,
especially from a place of, if you're just looking at the politics of your local community, you know, if you really don't take that extra step, the government is telling you how they value your child, you know, and if you're not gifted, what's that, talented or gifted, or if there's nothing overtly shown that says, you know, we're willing to put the money or resources in there. And unfortunately, with African American children, you know, we have to fight that fight to help people to see the value in our own community sometimes. And, you know, if it doesn't start with the parent, then I don't know. It's just very weird.
It's hard because, like all jokes aside, I even tell my fiance that sometimes you're getting paid to babysit. You're not even getting paid to really teach them, because a lot of the times the parents think that the teachers are like the parent too. It is like, no. My job is not to enforce these things. I'm trying to teach it to your child so we can move on and get them smarter to move on to the next grade. But I'm only with them. Like, yes, I'm with them a lot, but you're with them way more than I am. Like they come home to you, you feed them. You have way more intimate moments with them than I do. And sometimes the intimate moments is what helps stuff stick. Like when you're hanging around your child, just watching like if I'm watching a Marvel movie and I just make some random thing, like count how many times Hulk says Hulk smash. I don't know. Some like those little things will start to add up with the child, and they just remember little things like that. It's those random little moments that can help. So it's not on me as the teacher to do that. It's like, no, the parent. You're supposed to enforce what I'm teaching your child at school. And it just sucks.
But the other side to that, though, I think that education, just on a general conversation, is
subjective.
Not even subjective, but it really is like a trigger for a lot of people. You know, if I struggled in school as a child, and once I get out, I'm out. I don't want to read another book. I don't want to do anything. And you carry that on into raising your kids, and just like people are kind of, you know, leery of just going back to that phase because it forces them to acknowledge where their shortcomings are. Like, for example, math probably was the weakest thing for me as a student, especially in elementary school. So today it's like, like I have to really, really work extra hard to make sure that, you know, I'm correct with just my math today. So I can't imagine trying to instruct a kid. And then there's this new math crap that I don't even want to begin to expose myself to. You know, all of that can be very daunting for someone who, you know, quote unquote, isn't good with just learning. So, you know, but the other side to that is you made a kid. So you have to really be invested into making sure that they're successful. So
that's true. That's why it's just, if you bring a child into this world, be ready for everything that's going to come with it. Come with him or her, which is when they're in school, you're going to be the second teacher at home. Hey, what was your homework? What'd you do? You did your homework mad fast. Explain it to me. Just, even if you don't want to do it, because like I feel like I'll be an honest parent where like, of course I don't want to talk about these, like it's not entertaining, it's not fun. I don't want to talk about the school thing, but I know it's for your benefit, so we need to go over this. So now As soon as you're done, you're gonna know. I need to know this shit because my dad gonna ask me this damn question every time I come home, and it's gonna get
So
to
that means you can't watch wrestling when you're helping your kid with homework.
I know that's why I could DVR it. That's fine. We could do that. It's cool. I could just watch it later. That's
So wait, I'm sorry. This is interesting. So you'll DVR for your kid, but for date night, you switched your date night to accommodate your viewing habit for wrestling.
No, I didn't. My date night.
Yeah, you did. You told us that.
When did I tell you that?
You said that on another episode that if wrestling is coming on, you were literally trying to finagle your way out of the date night and see if you can switch it so you can watch SummerSlam.
It depends on what's the main event. Like if it's a huge main event, I'll be like, all right, what you trying to do tonight? Like if we just gonna watch The Circle, I'm like, yo, can I do that like tomorrow? Can we do it after? Like, yo, The Circle not going anywhere. Because when you watch wrestling, you want to kind of watch stuff live, and this is a hard left turn. But it's like you just want to watch some stuff live. But so yeah. But speaking of wrestling, this actually helps me get into my next topic because I was watching a pay-per-view this weekend, and at the arena they let 5,000 people in there, and it got me thinking. I used to love to go to sport events. I was even thinking about going to the Wizards game, but do I want to be in an arena with people like shoulder to shoulder? Because everybody's gonna say they vaccinated. I don't believe anybody, so I won't believe you unless you show me a card. Like even I have friends that say I'm vaxxed, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what to trust yet. So it's like, when do you think you'll start to feel comfortable? Because you'll see at the sporting events, concerts are starting to come back. Like I know Rolling Loud is doing a concert in December.
Yeah.
In America is coming back. So it's like, and I used to love to go to these concerts. Like I used to love to be in the mix. But after 2020, I'm that person that I kind of always thinks like, there's nobody wearing a mask in here. I'm out, deuces. So trying to think like, and I just use wrestling. Like, yeah, we joking, kid, but like I always love to go to the show. So that's why I'm like, when do I think I'll feel comfortable enough to be in there like, okay, and like enjoy the show and not think about the person next to me like, yo, the way this nigga just coughed just now, I don't like it. Like he might need to back up. Like,
well, I mean, the reality is prior to Corona, people coughing and sneezing and not washing their hands was very much part of the narrative. And so it was literally an act of faith to know that if you touched a seat or if you went to a concert and if someone had anything that could be passed via cold or cough, that you were going to be okay. I think the only difference now is that because this pandemic was as lethal as it was and it took out so many people at the rate that it did, and you're seeing it happen, that's a traumatic moment for everyone. And so you're going to think twice before you do anything. But to answer your question, I'll go when I'm ready, and I don't know when that will be. I've gone to the movies, but thankfully it's just been me in the theater.
Shoot, I went to see A Quiet Place the other day, and I was like, it wasn't like a lot of people in the theater, but it was like, I feel like we were all bunched together in the middle because when you get to pick your seats, everybody's going to pick the middle. So it's
right.
Just like,
well, at AMC, they do a good job of spacing people out, right? So like,
yeah, for sure.
They say you can sit here, but all these seats are blocked off if you do the reservation or the A+ app. The other side to that too is that since the pandemic started, I had to go out to work. You know what I mean? So again, it was just an act of faith to believe that you were going to be okay as you could be. So I still had to go into the office to do my job. I still had to go to the grocery store. I had to, go to my church and still do sound, even though it was still a restricted number of us. So I don't know. I think I'm still going to have the same attitude about it, just to be as careful as possible. But then, people lie. So, I think you just have to be as wise as you can and just make the right choice on what you're going to expose yourself to. Now, as far as me for concerts, for example, I would like to start back in the fall because a lot of the bands that I like are going to be on tour. And I feel like now's the time to see them because, they're ready to play. And so I'm hoping by the fall, it'll be as safe as possible. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think it takes time. And I think I'm even thinking before COVID hit, how carefree we were. Like people would sneeze. Like think about how many times you go places and you touch the door handle, right? We didn't think to use hand sanitizer. You didn't think like that. But when COVID hit, it's like everybody took it to a whole nother level. And the fact that the world is opening back up now at the rate that it's going, like I was out the other day and I had my mask on and people looking at me like I'm the weirdo. I'm like, no, y'all the weirdo for not having their mask on. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I've been vaccinated, so I know what I do. You know what I'm saying? But to me looking on the outside, I don't know where they were at or who they were with or even if they're vaccinated. So I think for me, it comes with timing. I love going to concerts. There's a bunch of concerts I'm going to in October. Like I got one in Silver Spring. Benny the Butcher is coming. I'm going to that, regardless of what it is. I'm going. Like I am going.
Who's Benny the Butcher?
I'm part of Griselda. Yeah, shout out to Buffalo. Yeah, they definitely on the map.
The rapper from Buffalo, and he's gonna rep his hometown. So
yeah, so I
okay, good times.
Definitely go out there and support Benny the Butcher.
We should bring Brian to the Griselda concert.
I like that idea.
Wait, is it like what type of rap is it?
No, it's just rap. It's just rap. Don't worry about it. It's just good rap. They're like
no. First of all, that's where you messed up right there. Anytime someone says "don't worry about it," that means that I should be worried.
Rap. Like, what do you want to like? Are they like Drake rap? Are they like Kendrick rap?
Yeah, what type of rap is it?
I mean, it's like Nas in '94.
It's gritty, grimy. Just they give it to you raw and uncut.
Jay-Z.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I will do some internet research and I will get back to you.
I mean,
I like that idea.
There might be a gun or two in the concert. Who knows? Who knows?
Wrong thing to say.
I'm right at home. In my own stomping ground.
I know you are, Slim.
But in terms of concerts, yeah, again, like I'm not going to move at a fast rate. I've been very cautious the whole pandemic, so I'm going to continue to have the same approach I had. But I'm still wearing my mask regardless. Like I that's fine. Like you look at me like I'm wearing, I think you're weird for not wearing it. You know what I'm saying? But at some point though, you have to kind of take that leap. There are people out there who couldn't wait to take that mask off. There are individuals who didn't wear the mask at all and just didn't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think the other side to that too is I'm really paying attention to what the government is doing, and how they're responding to a lot of these things. And to Biden's credit, I believe that he's done a good job with at least getting as many people vaccinated as possible.
For sure.
So that makes me feel a little bit better, and at least they're acknowledging that the problem exists. Now there's still a segment of people who, they're holding on to this whole "it's not real" thing, but when leadership starts to take responsibility and at least take the steps to say, this is what we can do, and making sure that people are aware that, these are the steps that you can take to get help. I think that helps me feel a little bit better. The other side to that too is that with some of these concerts, like isn't what's that, Made in America? That's an outdoor festival, right?
Yeah. That's outdoor. Rolling Loud is outdoor. A lot of concerts or festivals are outdoor.
I think that helps a little bit. I don't think you'll really get back to touring until.
Have you ever been to Made in America?
I wanted to go actually one year. I know it's in Philadelphia.
I've been there twice, and the way it is crowded out there, it don't even matter if you're outside. The way you are shoulder to shoulder.
Oh, you're just shoulder to shoulder.
Like it is. I don't know if it'll still be like that now. Like the year I remember, I went to see, it was Rihanna and Coldplay. They were like the headliners, which now when I think about it, I'm like, that's pretty random headliners. Not random, but I just find it interesting.
Well, Coldplay is friends with the lead singer is friends with Beyonce and Jay-Z, so
it makes sense.
Yeah,
it was just like even being there, like outside, you're like on the whole parkway, the stages are set up, and you're still walking around, but you're still like, even though you're outside, you're still like a shoulder to shoulder. So like, it's still like, it's a lot of fucking people here. And I think that's where I'm at. Like, even now, if I shake your hand, I'm not going to lie. I'm looking at my hand like, yo, this shit going to fall off. Bathroom, hand sanitizer. I need this. Cut this hand off. Like, I don't know where you've been. I'm kind of that guy now. Like, and especially me getting,
I'm sorry. I don't buy that. I think
he said my hand is going to fall off.
That's a bit extreme for you. Because truthfully speaking, this is going to sound funny when I say it, but I mean this in all sincerity. You were the most fearless out of everyone when the pandemic started happening. And you were like, we're still recording. You know, we're still doing this. Like,
I trust y'all. I trust y'all over my fear. Like, I know Brown doesn't go anywhere. So, like, when he started traveling, I was like, ooh, nigga, I don't like it.
You've never showed that, though. That's why I'm really surprised that you're saying this now. It's
if
weird.
you go back and think about it, anytime Brown traveled, we ain't record. We stopped. We ain't do it. When you think about it, we waited like a couple of days. I'm like, you get back, you good? Like, what's up? You cool? Because he's been, doing his thing, traveling. And then I trust you and I trust Slim to know, y'all ain't go anywhere. So it's like, all right, cool. Especially you can teach her from home. So I'm like, all right, cool. And I already know you, Brian. So I'm like, I know Brian's taking he's being the most careful he could possibly be. So I trust that. So if I trust you, my guard's going to be let down a little bit. Now, if I don't know you, that's completely different. My guard is up. But when if I trust you, then it's fine. My guard is down. I'm like, all right, cool. I could be a little lax. I don't need to be as uptight. But I remember when Brian used to say, yo, I just got back from the airport. I'd be like, ooh, wait, what? Huh? Wait, where'd you go there? Okay.
I never made the correlation. I never did.
You know what? It's like interesting. Like prior to this whole COVID thing, think how much we just went into the world and inhaled germs all the time.
So my thing, like when you see like the old high school photos, like the school photos of like the high school pack, shoulder to shoulder, kids walking down and up staircases, shoulder to shoulder at lockers, and I'm like, look at all these niggas coughing in the air, just breathing up this shit. And
that goes back to the point that I was trying to make though about how some of the schools in the area, they really don't allow for healthy environments sometimes, right? Like they're the convenience of just being spaced out and not having to worry about just, in your face. I don't know. It's just weird.
But you know what though? Like I think schools and I think a lot of organizations and companies, stuff like that. I know that my school, they taking cleaning to a whole new level, like a whole new level. Like every 15 minutes, like there's people walking around spraying, wiping down. And I think that's going to be like the new wave until like this thing completely dies down, which is good because we should have been doing this before.
We should have been doing it.
You know what I'm saying?
How dirty we were.
Yeah. You realize like how dirty and nasty we were. Not us, but just America as it is.
America.
People use the bathroom and don't wash their hands. Like I remember going out to a concert one day. I had to pee, and literally like it was 4 or 5 dudes who peed and walked right out. And I'm like, this is wild. This is wild, right? This is insane.
I don't want to make it a race issue. I'm not going to say what race, but what I will say is that I was somewhere in Virginia. And I went to a park and a man literally like went to the bathroom and I saw him look at the sink and like, I see it there, but it's just going to take too much time for me to wash my hands and dry them. So I'm just going to walk out and I'm just like, sir, we are in a pandemic. Like
devil's advocate. What if the person says, that sink is dirty from all the people that touched it? Because there are people that say this.
Okay.
That's true.
A couple of things. Sensors. You don't have to touch anything. Hand dryer. Stick. Go. And if, open a door, use your foot to open a door, it pushes out.
Every bathroom, some bathrooms don't have the foot thing where you could pull it open.
I am talking about the bathroom I was in at that moment. That man had no excuse.
Okay, that's different. Because I know, we've all been in a certain bathroom where it's like, oh, so I have to touch this to get the soap? Or like, there's no handle, like I gotta use something. And I'll be like, grab the shirt.
Nah, forget that. You know what I do? Listen, I tell you what I do. If I'm out and I gotta pee, I kick my foot to flush the toilet. I wash my hands. I wait for somebody to come into the bathroom, then I leave. I don't open. I wait for somebody to come in, then I leave. True story. I'm driving home from work.
What's the one you waited in the bathroom? I didn't even know.
At least 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Yeah. I was like, I'm not touching this damn handle. Hell no. I waited for people to come in and I quietly, oh, thank you for holding that door. Walk right on out. True story. Last week I'm in traffic. Last week, and it's 3 lanes. I'm in the middle, right? There's like a dude to the left of me and a woman to the right of me. I'm not saying anything besides that. I look to my left. This man is digging in his nose. I look to my right.
I do that.
Wow.
I'm a nose picker.
Damn.
I got hand sanitizer though, but I'm a nose picker.
Yeah, it don't matter, man. Like
I'm in the car. It's my nose.
I get it. From now on, I just sit in the back seat when I ride with you. I got mental note. I'm sitting in the back seat. Anyway, so dude, he is going to work. He gets done. He looks at it, flings it out the window.
Oh, that's nasty.
I let my window down. I go, really, dude? Like you just gonna let your buggers fly into the universe? Yeah, I said that, man. Yeah. Wait, yeah. But get back to you, Kas. Hold on. Get back to you, Kas. You a nose picker at the light?
Oh, at the light? Depends.
Brian, you a nose picker? When you get to the light, are you a nose picker?
I'm really sitting here trying to think. I'm not going to answer that question because I really.
Sometimes I'll get something good and be like, "Oh, that was a good one." Now look at me. Now I can breathe. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see Kas doing that. Just mental note, like if you were Kas, just get in the back seat, ladies and gentlemen. Just get in the back seat.
I got plenty of hand sanitizers in the car. I even got the wipes too. We do everything in there. It's very clean.
Hey girl, you just got a car. I'm thinking about all the times you got in my car. And...
Well, I'm not doing that in your car. That's rude. My car is different. See, here's the thing. I'm the type of person where in my car, it's a whole different rules than when I'm with somebody else. My car, I don't really give. The best way I could describe it is like when I'm driving by myself, I take reckless chances. I cut off trucks. I do this. When I got somebody else in the car with me, I'm driving Miss Daisy. I'm driving like 30 miles per hour. I'm not in no rush. But by myself, I'm like, taking some chances because I don't care about myself. But when I got other people, I'm in another person's car. It's not my car. That's rude of me. I'm not going to go into your space with my rules because I know we all have different rules.
There have been days where your Panda Express has looked so good. And I was like, I'm tempted to ask him for some. Now that those days are done. Like,
I don't really share my food like that unless you're a significant other. So even if you ask,
that's fine. You helped me because I'm.
You learn something new every day.
Y'all are nose pickers too. Y'all just don't want to admit it on air. But that's cool though. I still love y'all. It's cool. Nah.
I have tissue with me, so if I have to blow my nose, like I'm going to blow my nose.
You always have tissues.
Slim,
I stay with tissue. I know what he's doing. I already know. I have tissues. Yeah, I have tissues on deck. Shout out to my school because I definitely take some every single day. My trunk, nothing but tissues.
You know who needs tissues? I'm gonna say her name wrong. Osaka. Just because, switching gears here, I know if you guys haven't heard, she just withdrew from the French Open because of some mental health issues and dealing with talking to the media. So since we were like in the ballpark of sports and trying to talk about people coming in, I just kind of wanted to see what are your guys' thoughts on athletes and like kind of mental health, because you got the Kyries who were taking games off, just like not showing up because I need some mental health issues. And then you got Osaka saying this. But then also you have like the Russell Westbrooks, Trae Youngs, who have, like, if I'm Trae Young, I could make an argument that he needs a mental health day because a fan spit on me when I'm shooting. So it's like there are certain.
I'm laughing because I just saw my favorite LeBron James interview ever, where he just walks out.
Oh yeah,
the press conference in 2018.
Oh yeah. And so
that's when I became a LeBron fan, truthfully, because in that moment, I think he was frustrated because he had just lost. He was tired, and the question that they kept asking, I don't remember what it was, but I know it was the same question, and he tried to address it like as best as he could. And it gets to a point where and as you guys know, I'm so excellent at sports. I know these things, but like it gets to a point where when you factor in not only the physicality of that job, but you have to be emotionally stable, psychologically stable when answering those questions. You know, not everyone. I don't think everyone can't do it, but I think there you have to adjust. She's only been playing for how many years? Like,
See, the thing is that she's only 23, but she's been playing since she's like a child. That's why she's so good.
but it's different just playing, and then when you factor in the media component,
See, that's what I
where
was about to get to. Just because she's only 23, like she's very mature and wise for 23. But at the end
yeah,
of the day, that's still 23. She's still learning herself, still figuring herself out. And with her also taking certain stances in, I guess I could say social justice and politically, like
yeah,
representing Japan and representing Haiti, it's like doing all of that stuff. She's 23, so it's still in that process of like finding yourself and finding your character while being damn near the second best tennis player in the world. And you can make the argument that she's the first best right now. So there's a lot of pressure on her to deal with that. And sometimes, especially with tennis, it's not like with basketball where like I could kind of like, yo, Slim, you talk today. I don't want to do this. With tennis, it's like just you. So I want to know like, what's that fine line with like, should athletes have to talk? Like for me, if I were to answer it, I do think athletes, you have a responsibility to talk to the media. Now, do I think you need to do it every single time? No. But do I think you need to be out there majority of the time when good or bad? Yes. But if you do, like for Osaka, she said like, yo, I'm not really feeling talking even before the French Open started. And I was like, all right, cool. You gave us a warning. Like I was a person that had an issue with the Kyrie Irving thing because there were some parts of it where I was like, I don't know how genuine this is. And that was just me. Like if I use the example when they were in the bubble and he was saying they shouldn't play in the bubble, I was like, that's because you're not allowed in the bubble because you're hurt. Like if you could have went to the bubble, I don't know if he has that same stance. And excuse me, kind of just not showing up for your teammates. It would have been different if you would have said, yo, Steve, I need this day because so-and-so is going on with me. Cool, I get it. But like when you just not showing up and your teammates like, yo, is Kyrie showing up? I don't need to know. So it's like that's where I'm kind of like, if you're gonna take the time and get yourself right, I'm cool for it. But I do think you owe your teammates that at least that explanation to be like, yo, Kevin Durant, yo, it's not it for me today. I'm dealing with X, Y, and Z, or this George Floyd stuff is having me in my whatever. Because I'm not going to be the one that say, you're making millions of dollars, you need to go out there and talk. But I will say, if Kevin Durant's going to go out there and talk every day, now I'm not telling you to give elaborate answers. You don't have to do that. That's your call. But I'm going to tell you to at least go out there and show face because I just don't want to leave my teammates like out to dry. Like if me and Slim are on a basketball team and I'm like, yo, I don't feel like talking, all they're going to ask Slim is, why Kas don't want to talk? What's going on with Kas? Slim don't want to answer that question because he got his own shit to deal with. So that's where I was kind of like,
So I think that. Oh, go ahead, Slim. I'm sorry. I've talked.
I think first, like mental health is real. It's real. It affects people daily. You know, I'm not sure the statistics or the numbers, but it's real. It's real. You have some people who are kind of quiet about it, and you have some people that are quite vocal about it, trying to make change, trying to like get more support within that field. I think when it comes to athletes, I think as regular folks, I think we put them on a high pedestal. So when you see them not play a game or they sit out or they out for personal reasons, to us, it hurts. It's because like, oh, we wanted to see you play. We can't even see you play. And then you don't show up, you don't play, or you don't give it your all, or you don't talk at a press conference, or you don't do this interview. I think with athletes, they're humans. They're just like us. The only thing that separates us from them is that they're really, really good at this sport and they probably make a lot of money, right? And sports is something that brings all cultures, all races together, whether you are for a team or against the team. I fully stand with Osaka. I support that decision fully. And I think her doing that, I think that really broke the ice for more athletes to come out and express how they feel. Maybe not go all the way in, but just say, hey, I'm dealing with this. You know what I'm saying? I love the support by Steph, LeBron, Rapina, Serena, they all supported her because at the end of the day, like that's a mental health for her. And my thing is, if you can't get yourself rooted and grounded first and foremost, like you can't go out and play to the best of your ability. You know what I'm saying? And I just wonder how many athletes have mental health issues that never said anything, or they played in the game and they just sucked that night. You know what I'm saying? So there's so many different ways to look at that, but I fully support her. I thought it was courageous. I think that this is going to blow up in a positive direction. Now, of course, you have the haters and the dummies and the idiots of the world trying to throw shade at her, this, that, and the third. But she's human. She's human. She took the right step to better herself. She made it public, which that is not easy to do as an athlete or someone of that stature. You know what I'm saying? And I think at the end of the day, you have to take care of yourself first and foremost before you do anything. Like, and that comes to like regular individuals, like being a school teacher, being a principal, being a police officer. If you're not mentally, take a day off. Take a day off. You know, seek the proper help that you need to better yourself. That way you can help somebody else out. Because I'm pretty sure there are millions of people that feel the same way she does, but just didn't have the heart to say it publicly. And because she said that, I really think, she's going to get a lot of support in that particular area. And kudos to her for saying, hey, like, this is what I'm dealing with. You know, I know Kevin Love is someone who dealt with mental health issues. So a few other athletes, I can't think, but if you guys, yeah. So I think it's important to take care of yourself. You have to, not even an athlete, but just as a normal person. You know what I'm saying? And once you get that under control, then you're able to perform to the best of your ability. You know what I'm saying? You're able to be your best, whether it's tennis, whether you're a doctor, lawyer, teacher, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever it is. Like if you need help, seek the help that you need. You know what I'm saying? And those are my views on it. Those are my views.
How about you,
I
Brian?
think there are a couple of things that was said. I didn't know we were going to talk about this, but I was fascinated when they were talking about it on ET Canada. And forgive me because I don't know the organization, but the National Tennis League people.
I don't know either, so it's fine.
Great. They said, that they respect and care for all of their athletes. And are willing to have a dialogue about mental health and making sure that they're okay. However, contractually, all the athletes are obligated to talk to the press, and to answer questions, being that it is a part of the sport. There was another commentator on the same platform who talked about the fact that, again, they sympathized with her, but I didn't realize how much of a role the media plays with keeping the narrative going about sports in general. But then also for tennis specifically, the media is a big component of that.
The media
say it again.
The media is what promotes not most sports, especially tennis. Because
right. And so if they don't have the athletes to do the interviews, then they don't have stories. And then, of course, that taps into the bigger reason why I believe they are, making a stink about it. It taps into people's money. And so I feel like there does need to be an adjustment. I think media and news across the board has just evolved into something that isn't pure. The news isn't just the news. It's about getting clicks and people to look at your content and to get return viewers and whatnot. So the more salacious, the more derogative, the more controversial some of these topics are, with anything, the more prone they are to make money, right? So I think there does need to be a shift in ideology for how athletes are handled. I don't think you making enough money gives you the right to be demeaned or to be mishandled as an individual. But that's just me. I feel like at the end of the day, you have to be, I am so sorry.
Messing up my mental health. You on the phone. when I'm trying to be educated.
Okay, well, not my problem. No,
You sound like the media. You are the problem.
no. The other thing that I think is interesting too is that um, I don't know. She did release another statement apologizing for how she put it out there.
People would get like this, like obviously she didn't think it'd be like this blown up or something.
That's what she said.
Like it was just like I wanted to say like, hey, I'm going through some shit right now. I just really don't want to talk.
My friends and I were having a conversation about what it means to be in the public eye. And the context that we were talking about is, you know, if you're African American and if you never say Black Lives Matter, but you have a public platform, then
you have to say it. You damn near.
Well, that was the conversation we were having. And I think there should be some type of media training for anyone in the public eye. I just think that needs to be established, whether you have to get a PNR professional or someone who's just going to manage that part of your world for you. If you know you're not good at responding to questions, you have to have those things in place because we just live in a news-driven world. So that was the other thing that I thought about too, that, you know, if they're going to be getting into sports at such a young age, doesn't Nike do that? Don't they have you like,
we have media,
media training or whatnot?
I don't want to
even with me, like when I had to answer questions about the film or whatnot, I hated it because I feel like the product's there, you know, I don't want to talk to you because you know, everything you need to know, it's either in the movie or you made me write out something explaining why I made the film. But, you know, it's part of my reality. So now I have to get comfortable with answering questions and engaging people, not only with traditional media, but new media. And that's a whole nother piece that athletes today have to contend with versus what, you know, Jordan had to contend with, or anyone prior to the social media age now, because you have to know how to navigate trolls and people who are just going to say things to make you feel horrible versus really engaging your audience. And then news outlets now are using social media. So I think there has to be a very intense training on people, athletes that are getting into this so that they know what works for them.
Nah, I hear you. That should make sense because I know keeping it on the mental, doing a little pivot, but keeping it on the mental health thing tip. That's one that I ain't gonna lie. Well, newsflash, guys. Over the past few days, last week, your boy was baptized, and I'm not gonna lie. Since Thursday, like yes, I still have my normal stresses of obviously trying to plan a wedding and all this good stuff, but I do feel like this new mental, I don't want to say release, or just I don't know what clicked or something, but something that's just a little bit more. I feel a little bit more zen about certain things. I'm just like, it's not that serious. And I feel like it's helped me start that path of getting my relationship with God because I don't want to make this a whole religious mumbo jumbo because people are always going to be iffy on that. But I know for me, it was just something that I've always wanted to do, but I never felt worthy. And last Thursday was like, even then, it was still like, I'm really doing this. Yo, this water's warm. It was just like a lot of random stuff. Like, and I make jokes to keep myself at ease because that's how I just keep myself from getting anxious. But just even going through that process was just something where it's like, oh, this is a lot more intense than I thought it was. Like even during it, I didn't really get emotional. But then afterwards, I started to talk to the pastor because I couldn't get there to do like the videos beforehand, like the little testimonials. But just to talk to him a little bit. And I was like, wait, why am I like tearing up while I'm talking to you? Like this is just how I'm talking to you guys. I'm trying to just talk and tell him what's going on. And I was like, all right, I'm tearing up during this. I shouldn't be doing it. And I said that to him. He's like, no, it's okay. But I was like, I shouldn't be crying right now trying to talk to you. And I'm feeling myself getting choked up. So it was just like, when at least in terms of mental health, for me, I feel like it was all one big circle, if that makes sense, to where me strengthening my relationship with God, finally going through this process of something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time and not feeling worthy, but finally feeling worthy. And I don't want to say like, oh, I'm free from all my like the way I think about certain stuff, but it's like I definitely feel like a door was open to where I'm like, oh snap, I feel a little bit more. And this is not my thing to say everybody get baptized because that's a case by case situation and how do you feel about it. But I know for me, that's one thing where even though it's a small sample size because it happened last week, but it's like, I see little changes in just how I react to certain things. So
Well, I think first you'd be a little more excited. I mean,
I mean,
you turn over a whole new leaf. Congratulations, man! Like that is like that is a huge step in the right direction.
it's weird because it's like one of those things where I'm not gonna tell, hey, I'm getting baptized, come out. It's just like no, I feel like it was just needed to be me, my fiance, and the church. Like it's not one of those things where I want to like everybody come and support me because it's like I feel like it should be a personal thing between like me, God, and obviously my partner. So
Yeah, and I think for you, like it's the right direction for you. If that's something that you've been seeking and wanting clarity and like just like a new sense of lens, then you definitely swung the bat correctly. And I think once you give everything to God, you give Him all your doubts, all your worries, all your fears, everything that goes on in your mind on a consistent basis, and you give it to Him and let Him figure it out for you, the weight is just lifted off you. You know, you walk different, you talk different, your mindset is different, everything is different. And just know that, you know, when you do make that change, you know, the real tests or the testers will come. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that you walk with God and you have this new approach to life, you go into those situations a lot stronger than what you would have in the past because you have like this armor of God, this shield that's going to guide you through all those dark tunnels. You know what I'm saying? And I remember like as a kid, I remember when my old man got baptized, I'm thinking to myself like, man, this dude he a whole different person, right? I thought he was gonna be a whole different dad. No, he was still my dad. That ain't changed. But I can tell like just different things was starting to change. It takes time, but when you make that next step, and that's a huge monument, man. A lot of people do that while they have time. A lot of people do it when they're on their deathbed. It's like, oh, now now you want to get saved. But the fact that you did it early and you're laying a foundation for yourself, you know, your fiance, your friends, and whoever, like that's something that's something that anybody listening to this podcast can look up and say, yo, like Kas is doing it, Brian is doing it, Brown is doing it, Slim is doing it, you know. So kudos to you, man. Kudos to you. Truly proud of you, man. And anytime you reach a new level or a new chapter in your life, it's exciting, you know. But I think just knowing you and based off the conversations me and you've had before, I feel like now, like your confidence is about to really just blossom. You know what I'm saying? And I'm truly proud of you.
For my confidence to be at that level, I ain't gonna lie. Because
No, man. Listen, at the end of the day, never give yourself the short end of the stick. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know who you are. I know how you move and how you think. At the end of the day, man, go into the world with full confidence. That's anybody, especially being Black men, Black women that we date and that we have friends. It's bad enough the odds are against us, you know, but when you do things the right way, when you walk a certain way, talk a certain way, your mindset is different. Like it's just different. It's like nothing can like rattle you. You know what I'm saying? Because you have this confidence about you that you have yourself, your fiance, and then you have God first and foremost. And you got God on your team, you go undefeated. You're gonna go undefeated. You're gonna have some tests though. You're gonna have some tests and some dark days. But as long as you keep that spiritual light moving forward, you're going to be fine, man. You're going to be fine. Like you're going to be fine.
Yeah, I think the bigger piece that I'm learning, I'm trying to be careful, is that it's a discipline. Like to go back to the point of what you were saying, how it does help with your mental health. Like to go through what you've experienced, it's a beautiful thing, but it's also a daily commitment to maintain that peace and to fight for your peace, you know. And so like it's like Slim said, like it's great right now, but you have to be committed and diligent with maintaining that same zen that you were making reference to. um I know that that's as a Christian, that's probably the thing that I struggle with every day, right? Because you think that it's going to be special effects and everything that's wrong, a hand's going to appear and just like pluck out everything that is wrong. And it's a partnership. That's what I'm learning. And there are days when I am, fully committed to the partnership and doing everything to maintain my mental peace, my spiritual peace, and my physical peace. And then there are days where I'm just like, toss it out the window. And I don't have it all together every day. Like literally every day, it's a choice to lay down all those burdens that Slim was making reference to. But I think you have a bigger asset now that you've gone through that process, and the way that you feel is going to really give you that extra boost that you need to keep going. Um, and I'm excited for you. And like, I'm looking forward to, I haven't even been baptized yet, right? So when I saw that you did it, I was just like, wait, how did he do this before me? That's not cool, but
I'm not even gonna lie. I would like, it's something that I've always been thinking about, like on and off for a few years. Then especially now when I moved back to DC and going to church more. But I saw my little brother do it like 2-3 weeks ago. Like I was just like on IG and I was like, wait, what? Maurice, what you do? And I was just talking to him about it, and I was like, huh. And I feel like that was like the little kick in the butt that I needed, because like for me, my biggest thing is always going to be like, do I feel worthy of it? Like, yes, there's.
But that's that thought, and this is just me leveling with you. You're never going to be worthy if you're just looking at it through your own lens. Like, we make mistakes every day. We're going to mess up. We're going to screw up every day. Like every day that you're in flesh and blood, that you're not going to be worthy. If you're going with the ideology of what baptism represents, it says that, what makes me worthy is what the sacrifice on the cross took place. And because that's my belief, then I'm partnering with God so that I can continue to work out my soul salvation, right? And so that doesn't mean that everything is going to be 1,000%. You're going to hit it out the park every time. But it means that as you rely on that strength, on that peace that you felt, that each day you'll get closer to understanding, how to maneuver and how to work out your life's journey. But that's a myth to feel like. I just think it's important to say that that's a misnomer for people who feel like Christians think that they have it all together, or because we believe that that we have arrived. It's the complete opposite. It says that because I know me and all my frailties and all the things that I am capable of, I need to depend on something greater than me to help me. So I think you're on the right path.
See that I agree with you, but I think I also go into it with more like what you said before, that human element of like, we're never gonna truly think we're worthy because we're gonna always make mistakes because we're never gonna be perfect. So I feel like that's like a human element that isn't talked about enough, and how to deal with that, because it's always gonna be
most definitely.
There's like an underwhelming feeling of like, are you worthy? And even if you want to take it out of the spiritual realm, you could even go, am I even worthy to be in this relationship? Am I even worthy to be at this job? Is Slim even worthy to be a teacher? Like you're always gonna have like there's always gonna be some moment where you think,
or worthy to carry the pistol that he has.
Exactly, because like shoot, he might shoot it and it go everywhere. So it's like, are you worthy? So there's like this never-ending battle and struggle of like every day, am I worthy? Am I worthy? Now, whatever that worthiness is, that's everybody's own path. But there's gonna be some form of like, am I worthy for this? And it's like, how do you deal and cope with that? And it's sometimes trying to be that blunt with yourself, like, all right, maybe I'm not worthy, but I'm going to take the steps to make myself worthy. So
yeah, and I think life if the pandemic didn't teach us anything else, the fact that we're just here, it has to speak to the point that there's something more than our inadequacies that's keeping us here, or that's a part of our story, right? And so, you know, every person who's done something significant, if you look at their, if you have people who knew them and really talked about where their shortcomings were, you'll find out that, you know, every man has flaws, every man has parts where on paper they're not worthy, but that not being worthy didn't stop them from changing the world. You know, I'm sure, well, Dr. King, you know, he had his issues. Malcolm X, he had his issues. But even with those issues, right, they still managed to do something that will forever resonate throughout the pages of time. Obama, you know, there are mistakes that he's made, but you know, no one can take away the impact, if for no other reason, the symbolic impact that he has, you know. So I think the whole conversation of worthiness, that's something that you actively have to engage in. We just had a therapist come to my church to talk about that. Like, you have to really be engaged with your mental health, you know, and really take ownership of how you not only process the world, but how you are processing things for yourself. And I think the more you make time for that, Cass, and you know, whomever is listening, the easier it is to properly compartmentalize those inadequacies and unworthiness that we have within us, and all of us have it. So yeah, I'm excited for you as well. I think I'm excited for all you guys. Like, you guys are really doing great things, and you know, the sky's the limit. And I have to tell myself that every day, you know, not to focus on what was, but to really just embrace what could be. And I think, naturally speaking, we have been prone, just as people. I was talking about being Black in America. One of the things that we have been, as just a people, has just been programmed of who we're not. You know, our humanity has been in jeopardy. Our identity, just as a people, has been, you know, attempted to be taken away from us so many times. And the fact still remains that we are a resilient people, and that the fact that we continue to persevere and to overcome and to innovate and to introduce so much into the world is a testament to the fact that we're here for a reason. You know, whether you believe in, you know, God, or you know, whatever your convictions are, I think it's important for people to understand that they're here for a reason. So,
Man, that was beautiful.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page. I think just to like close this out, I think it's important that, you know, we always go and stuff, you know, at least try to have that mindset that you are able to do anything that you put your mind to. Like, there are going to be doubts, there are going to be haters, it's going to be like that self internal battle with yourself. But at the end of the day, you're here for a reason. You did that for a reason. That was your time to do what you did. So again, you know, live in the moment, man, enjoy it, but it's only going to make you so much tougher. And when I say tough, not like I gotta beat somebody up, no, but just like that mental toughness, like that, almost like just knowing that, okay, this problem here, I'm gonna just give it to God, and whatever happens is going to happen. And just learning to just do that and be okay with that. I think we all, you know, we're all here for a reason. We all have a purpose, and it's our job to find that purpose and live in that purpose, you know, as individuals, you know. And I think just ending on this note was very, very powerful, you know. And it's just, I'm excited for all of us, you know. So with that being said, I think our time is winding down. Shout out to Kas for making a huge leap, man. Shout out to Brian for being nominated for a short film.
Nominated? You talking to award-winning director?
Yes.
Award-winning director.
As he removed himself out the camera. Yeah.
Voted by the people. The people said he's an award-winning director. The people said his film in Block 2 is better than every other film in Block 2.
That's not what that
audience said. The audience said this. So when you talk to Brian Anthony, you put some respect on his name.
Yes, you do.
The movie could not have been made without Kas's charisma and Slim's apartment.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
But
Live in your moment. Live in your moment. Live in your moment, Ryan. Live in your moment.
Writing a beautiful script to be giving us the opportunity to even try and put his words to air. So
this is for you, Brian. This is for you. You see it.
We're making hearts for Brian.
I don't. My man boobs are getting in the way.
I hate Brian.
But this was a very dope podcast. This was dope, man. Brown, we miss you. I know that you're doing work, man.
Bring some damn papers, Brown.
Yeah, but you know, as we wrap up, I look forward to next week. Look forward to Kas and you know his battle and just taking over the world. Brian producing dope movies, giving his flowers to Brian and Kas today.
This is Kas's poster, by the way.
Look at him, got the poster.
This is Kas. So maybe we can give some away to the fans or something. I don't know.
Signed. Let me stop. I'm like,
listen. You better sign
that. Might be a good idea.
I'm down. We'll talk about this.
Get your flowers. Get your flowers.
This episode is called Get Your Flowers.
Get your flowers.
But on that note, it's your boy Kas,
Slim,
B. Anthony.
And we are the Brodies. Miss you, Brown.